All right, my friends. It's me, the MetaVerse Explorer. I'm back to keep you updated on what's happening in Star Atlas, and Jesus Christ, there is actually so much we need to talk about right now. I'm going to struggle to try and put everything in 20 minutes, but I'm going to do my best so that even I myself can keep updated with Star Atlas, because they have changed a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of info has come out. So let's do my best. Let's try and see what we can cover. We have a whole bunch of tabs to get through today. Let's go ahead and stop this video. Let's go full screen and let's discuss today. First off, let's give a very standing ovation to our first photography career competition winner, and that goes to Raiko. Raiko, my friend, this NFT looks great. Well, this soon-to-be NFT looks amazing, right? I don't know how much it took you to go through this, but I can see all the ships in the background. Someone else was in the shot with you, so man, I think you should get a ship, right? You're going to get this NFT, but I also want to give you one of my own ships. So I think you know what I have the arcade. I'm going to give you one of the ships of your choice from the arcade. And no, it will not be the Ark, okay? So you let me know which ship you want. We're already discussing it. We're already talking on Discord, so you know how to reach me. So congratulations to Raiko. This is a really, really good picture. And for those who aren't aware, this picture is actually going to be minted as an NFT, and Raiko will be able to sell this on the marketplace if he wants, right? Or he could just keep it for himself because he is the artist. He is now the author of this beautiful NFT. It's really gorgeous, right? It's really gorgeous. And as this will fetch a premium as the first photography NFT being minted by the Star Atlas team. Now, next up, let's talk about the photography contest. We all know that's coming very soon. Now, let's talk about the big thing, which is Sage Labs, right? So Sage Labs has just been announced, or it was announced a while ago, but we got a whole bunch of the information. And today, I'm going to go through it with you, right? I'm going to try and dissect it as much as I can with the help of Afia, because Funcracker, Prometheus have already made a really good guide about it. I just finished watching the Star Atlas brew itself, so I kind of understand what's happening as well. But at the same time, I might have missed something. So let's go through it. So first thing, there is a very small second photography competition happening, and this was for the crafting pathway. We have a whole bunch of stuff that we can go ahead and craft in Sage Labs, right? Now, Thingy did stuff up a little bit. In the content creator folder, there was actually this image that was actually in the content creator folder, but the entire public got another image which was way more filled in, right? They wanted us to fill in another image. Let's see if I can get it here. This is the image. This is the image that they gave us to fill in. So I saw this one, right? And then I saw this one. I'm like, oh, wait, they look different. Oh, there's a few stuff missing, right? And so clever me, without even looking at the competition, without everyone else trying to fill in, the lines. And the idea was that you got to tell us which item is going to be crafted into which other item. I was like, I'm going to take it one step further. I think some of these are missing, so I'm going to try and fit in some of the items that are missing, right? I was like, okay, well, first I got to make a grid line, okay? So obviously right now you can tell that some items in some boxes are actually missing, okay? Just like here, you could tell that there's maybe 1, 2, or 3. We knew there were 9 things here on the left side. And on this, you can actually tell there are 9 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the 3 faction crystals that we have. So there's 9 things there. And I was like, oh, I figured that out. I'm so smart. Look at that. So I started breaking it down into the different crafting levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6 on this side. And obviously right now you can see that there's even one thing missing from here. This is a little bit wonky, so maybe fuel just goes in here, which is quite easy. It feels like this area is also missing one item to be crafted. So 1, 2, maybe 3, a third thing to be crafted here. And then I had the second idea, was like, hey, where's the raffle ticket? The golden ticket that we're going to be crafting that you need a lot of resources in here for. So that's not in there. So I was like, oh, interesting. Where that might going to be? Maybe that's going to be on this side, right? So anyway, I had this idea and then I stopped. I stopped because I saw a post on Twitter by LEEKS. LEEKS has made this graph, this one, which, I saw it and I was like, God damn. And he usually has really good information in the community. So I would generally agree with what he has because he, can look behind the blockchain and behind the website and kind of decipher a whole bunch of stuff. Plus the graph looks really nice, okay? But he's not the only one, right? Everyone else has started making their own graphs here and there. Look at this. you can see some of the stuff here that people have made, and there's actually a lot of them. Some people put the golden tickets on the one side, right? Some people do like soccer fields with it. There's a whole bunch of people that just wanted to have fun with this, right? And of course, there is some ships that you can win if you get the closest to this. That's the LEEKS one, and there's a few other ones as well. Yeah, my question is, where's the golden ticket on here, okay? And are there any actual items still missing on there? That's what I want to know. Now, why do I like his one so much, right? Why do I like this so much? Let me scroll down and show you. Because he actually has a Notion page of all of the resources that he's managed to glean, right? Let me go back. So these are all the resources that he's managed to glean, okay? He's already got them. There's iron, there's copper, there's fleet, there's Arco, sorry, the diamond, hydrogen, and he's actually gone ahead and found the minting address for these resources for the Star Atlas Sage, or at least Rec even. And of course, he's got not only the resources, but the recipes, for God's sake. The recipes. He's got recipes. Look at this. So he can he knows what the recipes for ammo is. Well, at least maybe not what it is, but he's got them detailed here. He's got the recipes for items and also the craftable items. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here, right? So recipe categories are in R4, ships, refined ores, and uncategorized. So for the recipes themselves, you can see there's a few things here. You can have the Thimble Ecos Unibomber, or the Thimble Mamba, or the Thimble Airbike. This is the other two ships that Michael Wagner was saying that you may be able to craft, right? Graphene, Hydrocarbon, Ogrica Tursic, and Mud CSS tier. You can craft all of this stuff. Oh my god. And of course, even a Visa Solo or a CSS tier, Toolkit 1 and 2. This is what's very interesting, right? Toolkit 1 and 2. Look at the image first, right? The toolkit is all the way on the right-hand side, which to me thinks that you need to have a whole bunch of other resources crafting before you actually get to the toolkit, which is very different than the other resources, food, ammo, and fuel. They're way on the left-hand side of the chart. Why is the toolkit way on the right-hand side, right? It means that it's going to need way more resources to get to. Maybe there's toolkit 1 and 2, and the first toolkit actually belongs in this little section here, right? Possibly in this little section where you need ammo, iron, or even maybe even steel, or even maybe it even lives in this little section, because you can see here there's two things in this little box: frameworks and tool. And maybe this is steel and tool 1, and this is tool 2. Just some speculation for you guys, right? There's a whole bunch to look at here. Now, let's look at the craftable items as well, not just the recipes. Ammunition, claim stake 1, copper, copper wire, electromagnet, a framework, fuel, graphene, iron, Ogrica Tursic, particle accelerator, a power source, steel, superconductor, toolkit, and Visa Solo. When I saw this, I was like, I don't need to put any more work in this. I'm pretty happy that this is probably 90% correct, because Atlas LEEKS has pretty good, reliable stuff sometimes. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop. Thanks, LEEKS. Really appreciate it. Now, he did say this. I don't get it, LEEKS. Can you still elaborate on this? Some people didn't get the clue of the Sage manual in my response to Star Atlas Pro. All the info posted should make it possible to figure out the crafting in Sage Labs. And then he highlights this. So this, what I'm looking at so far, is the star-based tier. I don't know if this is from the team or this is from him, right? I think the base level is from the team, and then his squares are from him, right? So on Starbase Tier 0, you shouldn't be able to craft anything. On Starbase Tier 1, you should be able to craft these items. And then Tier 2, you craft these. Tier 3, craft these. Tier 4, craft these. What I don't get is the yellow and the red. Red, framework, iron, framework, steel. So there's two different frameworks. You can craft framework from two different items, either from iron or from steel itself. Or you can craft it with titanium. I think at the end of the day, it'll still be the same framework itself, but you'll need way more iron and less steel, and even only a small amount of titanium to create a framework, right? And the same thing with these toolkits here. You see toolkits, you can make it toolkits from iron, toolkits from steel, and toolkits from titanium. Same with repair kits, right? So I don't think there's different. Now I'm confused between if there's toolkit 1 and toolkit 2, right? But you can make toolkits from 3 different resources. I hope I get it, right? Do I get it, LEEKS? Let me know if I get it, right? Okay. Now, let's go. Let's keep going. There's a whole bunch of information, as I said. This is the Aphia guide posted by Funcracker just about 2 days ago, like 3 days ago. It details a whole bunch of information that someone could have missed, right? So I'm going to break it down for you guys. I'm going to zoom in so we can go through it. Okay, right now there's a couple of different stages of Sage that we're going through. We've done the escape velocity, which was just a very simple movement test, right? And just a scanning test. It worked great. Lots of bots, fine. Now we're going on to Sage Labs, which is resource, extraction, and crafting, first iteration of the real game, and as such unlocks the on-chain economy. It does come with temporary, much simpler 2D interface, just like, think of it like a old-school browser-based game with just text. More on this game in the guide. And Sage Star-based, which was previously Rec. Same as Sage Labs, but with the WebGL user interface, which is where it's going to look much nicer, much cleaner. We've got a video of Sage Star-based very soon, you'll see. And then the Sage Pre-Alpha, you add combat, star-based construction, and destruction, and the grand strategy gameplay. And of course, we go to Sage V0, which is when Sage officially launches. So we're like not even in the middle of this entire thing, right? Now, what else can we do? What else can we look at here? There's a whole bunch. I've just highlighted some very simple things for us to talk about. So on-chain in Sage Labs, there's movement, there's fleet manager, there's extraction, crafting, and cargo inventory. Don't worry, I'm going to link this whole guide in the section down below. Sage Labs is going to be between 28th August and 10th of September. But as I say, guys, time, don't even worry about the time. It'll come out when it's ready. And that's what Michael says, and that's what the team should be saying, because we always get disappointed with time, okay? We always get disappointed with time. All right, what's next? There's a whole bunch of extra content of this guide. Size limitations. I didn't pick up on this, but I'm so glad I read this. Let's go through it so you understand as well. When you dock a fleet to the CSS or a starbase, add new ships into Sage, also dock, you can form and reform your fleets to your heart's content. However, there is a limitation. Each ship has a point associated with it, and a fleet can only contain up to 145 points worth of ships. So this table will actually tell you how many of your ships can you form into a fleet. Your maximum is 145, okay? So by this even rationale, look at the size class for number 7, which is a commander, has 49 points, which means you can only have in any one fleet a maximum of 2 commander ships. That's it, okay? Because let me do my calculator so you guys can see. 49 plus 49 equals 98. You can only have up to 145. If you add another 49, you cannot. You're 2 points over, okay? So in this case, you might be able to have 2 commanders, one capital class in your ship, and maybe one of these extra small ones. So already, people are looking at their own fleets. I have to go ahead and look at my own fleet and see how many I can probably fit in one fleet. Now, I don't have 2 commanders, so that's probably fine, but you probably want to have different fleets for different purposes, right? Maybe some scanning fleets and also some, resource extraction fleets, for example. So go ahead and look at this guide and start making your fleet composition, okay? Now, next thing I highlighted, they gave us some really nice pictures. We'll dissect it later. Let's look at that. There are a few differences for the map itself that we're playing with here. It's not the same as EV, sorry. The biggest one, the map is a far cry from EV. It's a simple 2-dimensional top-down grid that does not offer options to zoom in or move around. Remember, it's supposed to be very, very simple. The WebGL version is going to come later, okay? What else? Fleet movement will now cost fuel, and fuel ships won't be able to make the trip from one edge to the opposite one without refueling along the way. This is good. Now we are getting some syncs, right? The map is not clickable, instead you use a table below, just like the image. This is what the map currently looks like, guys. We've seen this multiple times. I'm going to go through it again very soon. What else did I highlight? Running out of fuel. If you run out of fuel, your only hope is that you have some fuel in your fleet's cargo hold and that the amount there is sufficient to bring you to a nearby starbase of your faction. Fuel stored in your cargo hold can be transferred into your fuel tank at any time. This gives you a backup tank of sorts. Suppose you don't have any fuel in your cargo hold. Tough luck. There's no other way to refuel in mid-space. Other fleets will not be able to help you out. Respawning. If you completely run out of fuel, you have no option in labs but to respawn your fleet, losing all your items in the cargo hold because you have to go to your starbase to be able to unload all your stuff. If you lose it mid-space, it's gone, okay? And respawning, of course, will cost you some Atlas, of course. Resources. We've seen these resources in the little picture shared by LEEKS. Let's go ahead and look some more. On top of this, there's going to be SDUs. SDUs are a new kind of item they're adding into the game where you're able to... I don't even know what SDUs are even for, right? I don't know what they're for. What are SDUs for? I know it's called a survey data unit, but what for? Plain to say, when a fleet is not docked inside a setup, it can perform a scan to search for a sub-data. These can only be found through scanning. They cannot be mined or crafted. Scan instantaneous and will successfully immediately reward you SDUs. Okay, but we don't know what they're for. So up to 25% of the map sectors contain an SDU at any one time. If an SDU is found, the sector won't spawn another batch for at least 2 minutes. Of course, there's some there's some filtering method, so it's not completely spammed. If your scan is successful, SDUs you found is based on the size of your fleet, right? There is a formula. I'm not going to rely on this formula right now because things are going to be changing, right? But the idea behind the SDUs is that it's a set amount based on your fleet composition, right? This scales very rapidly. A fleet cannot find more than 10 SDUs per scan. This means if a fleet of 10 PSX4s can find as many SDUs as a fleet of 10 PSC9s. So you want to have probably smaller ships going out searching for SDUs. You don't want to waste giant capital class ships or titans to go and look for an SDU, because that's a whole waste of resources that you're going to be having. There is a star base. There's extra stuff to talk about. Costs, passive processes, extra pictures, star base, redemptions, crafting. Oh my god, there's so much to go through, right? Crafting, this is something that I picked up on. I thought I should share. So we know how much it's going to be costing you to craft. I'm going to read you these examples so that you get an idea about the crafting itself. Like I said, this guide is so good. You need 1 biomass of the R9 to craft 1 food, which will take 1 crew member 1 second. Okay. Now you can craft 100 food. Let me zoom in here so you can see. Oh, I lost it. You can craft 100 food, but it will take 1 crew member 100 seconds. Okay, so 1 equals 1 equals 1. Very easy, very base. If you need to craft 100 of them, it's going to take you 100 seconds with 1 crew member. Though, if you increase your crew members to 100 and you're crafting 100 food, it's only going to cost you 1 second. That's pretty straightforward, right? Makes sense. There is a cap though. If you commit 200 crew to try and craft the 100 food, 200 crew for 100 food, they cannot go faster than 1 second. Okay, that is the base. Okay, it'll still take them 1 second even if you go for 1,000 crew to just do 100 food. Okay, it won't work. What else did I say? Costs. There is a small amount of Atlas for each component you craft. This is a good Atlas sync. We'll see how it works. There's a redemption, there's a fixed redemption table, claim stakes you'll be able to redeem, CSS habs you'll be able to redeem, and ships from the start sequence, as well as some ships that, these we're doing is that they require SDUs as part of the recipe to acquire them. So people need to go out and scan them for the small ships. That's pretty interesting. There are exclusive ships that the team are thinking of actually giving to us as a raffle. One of them is the Thimble Mamba X, and there are other ships that they haven't quite mentioned yet. Guys, I feel like I'm losing my voice talking about all this. Look at this guide. There's so much to go through, right? Let's look at some beautiful pictures, right? Let's take your mind away from Leon's really loud voice and let's talk, right? Okay, this is a nice image. This is what it's going to look like when you first go into the game, Sage Labs. Okay, next up. This is what the map looks like. So you can see you've got the Oni symbol up here, you've got the Uster symbol up here, and the mud symbol down here. Okay, so you may choose. You'll have a new faction selection, and you'll have to choose which one to go into again. Okay, now you can see here, inside here is probably the Uster safe zone, UST, and then Oni, and then mud. Above all of these, you have the medium risk zone. Medium, MRZ. Okay. Now, someone did post in the Discord saying, "Hey, what is that little middle bit?" Okay, where am I? This middle bit. This is where, if we have it right, this is where the high risk zone is going to be. Okay, and I assume over here is where some of your fleets are. Okay. I'm thinking this in these 4 squares, like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where the high risk zone is going to be, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because nothing is in these zones. That's where it's going to be. Okay, I guess we kind of know that. A little bit of more interface for you. Of course, you have your disconnect at the top, Atlas fee payer for you to pay your transaction fees in Atlas. Which, how does that work? Basically, you give Atlas to the Star Atlas team, and then they go and sell it for Solana, and then they use that Solana to pay for your transaction fee. of course the Star Atlas team will be taking a little profit on top of it. So technically, if you're good in the game, you should be able to pay for your own fees entirely. Yeah, and you can see there's a whole bunch of different fleets that you'll have. You can rename your fleets, not now, but later on, I think, if I remember correctly. Now, the Starbase controls deposit ships. Starbase, hang on, sorry, it's getting late. I needed to make this video and then go to sleep. Starbase crafting workshop, inventory at the Starbase, and Starbase meta details. Nothing else I could really look out here. Let's keep going. These are mineable assets in each sector. Okay, so you'll be able to see in one asteroid, for example, there is one item that you can go and click a button and mine that. And then there's another asteroid which has another kind of item, the asset tile, you know, iron or titanium or something, another raw resource for you to go and mine and then craft later on down the road. Let's look at some nice pictures, shall we? This is, of course, the Calico Max Hog. They've done a few videos of it. Let's have a look. That's what it looks like now. Nothing too different. Let's have a look at how it animates. Now, I'm actually very confused as why they're doing the Calico Max Hog, because as far as I remember, they wanted to do individual parts of small ships so that they could use those individual parts from small ships onto the larger ships, right? There is no larger Calico Max Horde. There is no larger land vehicle that we have so far, right? So why are they working on this? That's why I'm a bit confused, right? Where we have, for example, the Tufa guns, okay? These guns are going to be used by every Tufa ship. Right now, there's only 2 of them in existence, right? The Tufa Feist and the Tufa Spirit, I think it was. Now, the guns itself don't look too bad. It doesn't look bad, but I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought it would look way more rocky. This just looks like a Thimble BIOS kind of gun, doesn't it? It just looks like a little bit cobbled together, a little bit rusty. And then, yeah, of course, you've got some rock flavoring on top of it because it's a Tufa. I actually thought that rocks would be way more incorporated into the entire gun itself. Doesn't look that special for a gun. So, yeah, that's just what I thought about this. Next up, we got some Tufas taking a ride on some non-asset vehicles, just like some little buggies. I don't think these are going to be NFTs down the road. These are just ways for you to get around the map. And of course, just normal vehicles around. And lastly, we have another gun by the Thimble. This is, I think, the Thimble BIOS guns, right? That looks like a Thimble BIOS gun. Yeah, can't say much else. Like, just looks normal, yeah. And then, of course, there's one from the other side as well. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you is actually a sneak peek of the WEBGL version, which is not what we're expecting in labs, but the one after, okay? This is pretty cool, and I think is worth the wait, right? This is where the WEBGL comes in. It looks much cleaner, much nicer, much more interactive. This is new, guys. We haven't seen this anywhere else. Look at that. Looks gorgeous. Smooth as hell. Smooth as hell. Lots of ships flying around, right? Flying around one specific star. And imagine having giant combat. And I want to rewind here so you can see there is one asteroid field that I don't know if you can see that. You see that one asteroid mining field? That's what it's going to look like, right? When we get there. But until then, it's just going to be a text on the screen, and then you go and click it. This in WebGL, you'll be able to actually physically go there, click on it, and then do it. And then mine, right? Oh, look at those. There's so many ohms just floating around, and there's an ohm coming behind this sun. So technically, I wonder if you can zoom, if you can move around the space. I wonder if people can go and hide behind these suns and ambush you. Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So, like I said, I'm going to leave the link to the article in the description. There is a whole bunch to go through. I can't possibly cover it myself as one single content creator. Fortunately, I'm doing my master's, as I said. It does take a lot of time. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys very much for liking and subscribing. Atlas LEEKS, your stuff is always pretty good, so I'm going to share this. Hopefully you don't mind. I didn't ask for your permission, but I'm going to leave it there for everyone else to see. And I think this is what it will look like, right? This is the stuff we're going to be crafting, and I think you probably have a good handle of it, better than me, definitely. So the particle accelerator, of course, right behind me is going to be the big ticket item, as well as the golden ticket itself. So this says you will need a superconductor as well as a strange emitter to do a particle accelerator. I actually disagree with this. I think the highest top ticket item, the particle accelerator, is going to need an electromagnet, electronics, a power source, and a radiation absorber. This only just takes into consideration that it's the same color, right? It's the same color. For example, this power source, why are we crafting the power source? It doesn't actually go anywhere, right? It doesn't help anything. So I think you need a power source in a particle accelerator, and of course a radiation absorber. So yeah, I think some of these do need tweaking, but like I said, we're just having fun here. All right, I'm going to leave it there, my friends. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave you and love you. Appreciate it, as always, and wish me good luck in my masters, guys. It's really tough. Ciao for now. Bye.